It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Happy Wednesday. Oh, my goodness. 3 days from the college football explosion. 1 day for the Vols. Because the University of Tennessee, as you well know, will start it off tomorrow against Ball State. J-Mo, is that like a 35-point line?
It is. It started at 33.5, I believe. It's already gone up 2 points. Might go up a little bit more as today and tomorrow come by. So if you want to get it, jump on it now.
Yeah. God, that's a lot of points. But I'll be very honest. I have zero idea about Ball State. Do you know much about Ball State?
I don't know anything about Ball State.
Okay, so we're just going Power 5 versus lower level Group of 5, and voila. Because of the system there, Josh Heupel will pound you. 35 points probably is reasonable. You taking that side? Is that where you're going?
I've already taken it, yes.
Oh,
because
wow.
The offense is so prolific. The big question mark is the defense. I'm not sure that bites you in the butt against Ball State like it will and maybe against other teams.
By the way, I saw, I think it was CBS did a quarterback poll, and they have Hendon Hooker as the number 5 quarterback in the country. And if he puts up those kinds of numbers, he'll be in the Heisman conversation. But what do you think those fans in Blacksburg, Virginia, are thinking about? Because they ran him off. They ran off Hooker. Well, they didn't run him off. The school kind of ran him off.
I think it's disappointing, but also, different quarterbacks thrive in different schemes. You never really know, but I think it always hurts when a quarterback that transferred away from your school does something great like Hendon Hooker did last season.
Yeah. You're sitting there going, we don't have really much of a quarterback. Who's that guy, though, we let go? What's he doing in Knoxville? Holy smokes. Tonight, U.S. Open, Serena Williams against the number 2 seed, who's not played a lot this year because of injury. Could we see another round for Serena? And if she got past this person, number 2 seed, how far could she go? I'm getting ahead of myself here. But she did look to be in better form. I'm talking footwork, fitness level, movement. We know she's got power. Once her serve got going the other night, she was dynamite. So you're a tennis guy, does she have a chance tonight?
I think she has. I mean, it's Serena Williams at the end of the day. She has a chance, especially if it's her, if what people speculate, it's her swan song tournament. I think she has a chance. I was disappointed to see Venus drop her game, but that's, she still has more tennis to play. You said they're playing doubles together, too, in this tournament, correct?
Right. Well, Venus lost yesterday. Venus looks like she's the older sister in her early 40s. I hate to say it, and she's my favorite of the Williams sisters just because I've met her a couple of times here in Memphis, and she came back to Memphis. She was at one time, I don't think they were engaged, but they were tight with a golfer, and I'm trying to remember who the golfer was, tall, skinny guy. But she was following him around the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and I got to chat with her a little bit. I find her delightful. Obviously, Serena is the better, and it's a shame because, honestly, it may be Venus who would have gotten those 23 if her sister hadn't gotten in the way. I mean, I think she's got 7, Venus does, Grand Slam championships.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Hank Cooney?
Hank,
Kuehne.
It's Hank Keeney, I think. I think it was, or Hank Keen or Keeney.
Keen.
Yeah. Very short-lived pro career for him. Oh, and they finally spoke, the Live defectors. And, Cameron Smith just said, hey, look, it was a financial decision. I mean, it was just too much money for me to pass up. And Harold Varner said it even more to the point. Harold Varner III, I mean, he hasn't won anything on the PGA Tour. He's done well, gotten in top 10s. I like him. I'm not trying to diminish his skills. He'll probably win something on the Live Tour. But he basically said, this stakes my family. This means that the Varners are good for generations to come. And he added, it will also help me, because he came from nothing, and he said that. It will also help me help people through my foundation. So he's not just taking it for him and his family, also to help other people through his foundation. That is so commendable. How can you be mad at him for that? And frankly, although had he had the perseverance to try to keep going, I think he would have finally broken through on the PGA Tour. But I guess when you're guaranteed, I don't know what the money was. They're not saying what these newest guys got. I don't even know what Cam Smith got. But I think it's more than $100 million. Cam Smith would have been crazy unless it had to be over 150 for him to take it. How much money did he make this year? And Lord knows how much he's getting in endorsement money, which may go away now. Although I will say this, I saw, was it Srixon? Brooks Koepka, during the PGA Championships, was in an ad. Maybe it was Golf Channel. I was watching something else. But he was in an ad for a golf ball. I want to say it was Srixon. Brooks Koepka is keeping some of those endorsements. So he hasn't been blackballed like many of the others.
Srixon, that's right. It's Srixon. Harold Varner in 2022, it looks like made $2.29 million. So that's not bad, but you'd have to imagine he got much more.
So he made $2,300,000, and with they do have sponsorship money that matches. Usually it's double. So I'm going to say the guy made $4 to $5 million.
He's sponsored by Jordan as well. Because he's from North Carolina. Right. Michael Jordan.
No, I don't think. I don't think Michael Jordan will cut him off. I really don't. So he'll probably still get that money too. I think Cam Smith though hurt himself in terms of endorsement opportunities, at least at the moment. Now, if he goes and, is dominant in that tour, because here are the facts, okay? The PGA Tour still has 18 of the top 20 players. 18 of the top 20 players. Cam Smith, Joaquin Niemann are the two that they don't have. Oh, and by the way, all of the television deals belong to the PGA Tour. So far, nothing but a website and some streaming system has the LIV. That's it. Will you watch the LIV this weekend?
I will not watch the LIV.
You won't watch it Friday?
Probably not. Well, I'm watching high school football on Friday, but no, that's during the day, obviously, but probably not. No, it just doesn't. I love golf, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't pique my interest at all for whatever reason. It's not like I'm taking some moral stance about it. It just doesn't. The golf, they added some golfers I like. I like Patrick Reed, but they just doesn't have enough golfers that I'm interested in watching. You
may be the only one. You like Patrick Reed?
I do like Patrick Reed.
Why?
Like Captain America, for one thing. No, I mean, I don't. He obviously has done some things that make him a little bit unlikable, but for whatever reason, I've always just enjoyed watching the guy play golf.
All right. He can play. He is clutch, particularly when it came to the Ryder Cup. Jackson State and Dion, did you see him come forth? He had on Twitter, I think it was Twitter. He basically said, "Look, we got no water. That means we got no air conditioning. That means we got no ice." So he's taking his kids to a hotel outside of Jackson and getting them water to drink and ice to ice down and sleep so they have some air conditioning. Man, it's a mess in Jackson, Mississippi. I know several people that live there. I'm trying to get a hold of them. None of them were really affected by the flooding, which is fortunate because there have been many that have been. But all of them now will be affected by the water. This is crazy. And they are back down to backup pumps. There's no clean water. They're telling you not even to shower with the water. So it is a really bad mess. And I give Dion credit for saying, "Hey, I got to take care of these guys. We're going to do that. We're going to a hotel." Sad news. Stephen White. Whom I really didn't get to know very well at all, but I knew him as a player, at first at Westwood High School, then at the University of Tennessee. He was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. We'll have to ask T.J. Reeves a little bit about if he remembers Stephen White. 48-year-old Memphian passed away from a form of cancer yesterday. Our condolences to his family, to all the people that he touched, and there were a lot of people. I think he was doing some radio hits over the last few years. Intelligent guy, really nice guy, apparently, by all who knew him. So our sympathies, our thoughts, prayers to the White family. Before we start making our SEC West picks, one more story. This guy is amazing. Have you ever heard of Jared Bernhardt?
I don't believe I have.
You've never heard, you're going to, of this name, because it's a great story. Okay? He made the Atlanta Falcons as a wide receiver. He made the 53-man roster. But nobody really knew who he was until the story started to unfold that maybe he could make the Falcons. 2 years ago, he won the Tewarton Trophy. J-Mo, not to make you look bad, but do you have any idea what the Tewarton Trophy is?
I don't know who Tewarton is. I don't know what the Tewarton Trophy is.
The Tewarton Trophy is the equivalent to the Heisman Trophy in the sport of lacrosse. So 2 years ago, this guy wins the equivalent of the best lacrosse player in college in America, okay? He then decides there's just not that much future in lacrosse. I'm going to go and play football. He transfers to Ferris State and becomes their starting quarterback, and Ferris State wins the Division II National Championship. And then, he's not good enough to be a quarterback in the NFL, but obviously if you're the best lacrosse player in the land, you're a heck of an athlete. Strong, quick, great instincts, have hand-eye coordination. So what happens? He tries to make the NFL as a wide receiver and made yesterday the 53-man roster. Jared Bernhardt, this is going to be a great story to watch.
You hear about all the time the big guys in basketball end up becoming tight ends. Maybe this is a new trend we're seeing as the lacrosse players end up becoming wide receivers.
I love it. I think this is just terrific. I truly do. All right, we're going to make our SEC picks in the West in a minute. I got to let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Dinstall's, and I've got good news for you. I really do, because I love it. It's starting tomorrow. It's finally here. The caramel apple season begins at Dinstall's. Those fresh, crisp Granny Smith apples dipped in Dinstall's chewy caramel doesn't get better than their caramel. I promise you that. You can also get your apple rolled in pecans, or you can go for the hat trick. You get the caramel, you get the pecans, and it's drizzled with Dinstall's rich milk chocolate. I shouldn't say drizzled because it's not enough. It's dipped. They do it all. And it's called the ultimate turtle apple. I call it the hat trick. There's even a cashew crunch apple. Whoa, what a twist. Nobody dips them like Dinstall's. Oh, the Summer Sizzler special this week is Cashew Crunch. That is, I think, truly their signature. That is, I love this stuff. Butter, brown sugar, cashews stirred in a copper kettle, finished with fine coconut. That gives it that little tinge that nobody can copy. It is the Dinstall's most famous, I think, brittle. A very special price for opening a football season. Stock up on the entire season at this special price. I'd go and get it. It lasts. That's the great thing. It never melts or anything like that. And you got 5 places to go get apples or Cashew Crunch. You can go to Laurelwood. You can go to Germantown. You can go to Collierville. You can go downtown. Cool little place. And you can go where they make it at Pleasant View, Dinstall's. They've been making sweet treats for over 120 years. All right. So let's begin. We're going to do the SEC West. I'm gonna start trying to go at the bottom here, okay? As much as I like Mississippi State and I like Mike Leach, I do. I think it'll be a sort of a rocky year for him. I think he'll survive. Yeah, I think he's going to beat Memphis. Much as I hate to admit that, we'll give Friday all our Memphis. And I think Memphis is going to win a lot of games, but I think in Starkville with revenge and everything else, and all those seniors, that they have. They're really experienced. I think they win that game. I think they're going to go to Tucson and win. I think they'll lose in Baton Rouge, first SEC game. They'll beat Bowling Green. They'll lose in Starkville to A&M. They will pull off the upset because Leach does this every year. He wins a big game nobody thinks he's going to win. And this time, and I think Arkansas is going to win a lot of games, as you'll hear, but the Bulldogs will upset the Hogs in Starkville. They'll lose to Kentucky. They'll lose to Alabama. They'll beat Auburn, lose to Georgia, beat East Tennessee, and then lose in Oxford in the Egg Bowl. I've got them 6-6, but 2-6 in the league.
I love the win against Arkansas. I was debating that one. I have a little bit better outlook, I think. I think Mississippi State, like you said, wins Memphis, beats Arizona. I think they lose in Baton Rouge, beat Bowling Green. I think they beat Texas A&M. I think that was my Starkville at home upset there. So I think they beat A&M, lose to Arkansas. I think they beat Kentucky on the road, lose to Alabama. I think they beat Auburn, lose to Georgia. They beat ETSU, obviously. And I have Mississippi State winning the Egg Bowl in Oxford. I think Mississippi State is very underrated. I have them at 8-4.
Wow.
And tied for third in the SEC West.
I have LSU next. They beat Florida State in New Orleans. That's a home game. They beat Southern. They beat Mississippi State. They beat New Mexico. Wow, they're 4-0. Here comes Auburn at Auburn. They're going to lose that game. They're going to beat Tennessee in Baton Rouge. They're going to lose to Florida in Gainesville. They will beat Ole Miss in Baton Rouge. They will lose to Alabama. They'll lose to Arkansas. They will beat UAB. They'll lose to A&M last game of the year in College Station, 7-5, 3-5.
I think, like you said, LSU beats Florida State, basically a home game. I had them starting 5-0, and then they go on a little losing streak. I think they lose to Tennessee, lose to Florida, lose to Ole Miss, lose to Alabama after the bye, lose to Arkansas. They do beat UAB, but then they lose to A&M the last week of the year, 6-6, tied for sixth, I suppose, in the SEC West.
Okay, let's go to the top. Alabama, 12-0, 8-0 in the league. Let's just say it.
I have them 11-1. I think Alabama loses to Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off a bye. I have Ole Miss. That's the one game Alabama loses all year, 11-1 going to SC Championship.
Wow. On November the 12th, mark it down. That would be big. So let's go to Ole Miss then. And I've got Ole Miss beating Troy. I've got Ole Miss beating Central Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Tulsa, Kentucky, Vandy. Everybody's got them going 7-0 with Auburn. All right, everybody. Then I think they're going to beat LSU in Baton Rouge. I think they'll go to 8-0, and then they'll get tripped up at A&M. They'll get tripped up by Bama in Oxford. They're going to lose in Fayetteville to Arkansas. They will beat Mississippi State. I've got them 9-3 and 5-3.
I'm sorry.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Oh, I'm so excited to do Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss opens the season beating Troy, beats Central Arkansas, beats Georgia Tech, beats Tulsa, beats Kentucky, beats Vanderbilt. They lose to Auburn, always a tough game, beats LSU, lose to A&M. Then they come off the bye, beat Alabama. They beat Arkansas, but they lose to Mississippi State to finish 9-3 in the league, but second in the West.
So I got them 9-3 and 5-3. So let's go to Arkansas. Arkansas, I've got them losing to Cincinnati. Yes, I got an AAC team beating them. Beating South Carolina at home. Missouri State. Texas A&M and Arlington. I got them winning that game. Losing to Bama. Losing to State. I told you there was that upset. BYU's a win. Auburn's a win. Liberty's a win. LSU's a win. Ole Miss is a win. Missouri's a win. What a finish. 9-3, 6-2. Second in the conference, in the division. So what do you have with Arkansas?
With Arkansas, I have they beat Cincinnati, they beat South Carolina, beat Missouri State, lose to A&M, lose to Alabama, beat Mississippi State, beat BYU, beat Auburn, beat Liberty, beat LSU, lose to Ole Miss, and beat Missouri 8-4 in the league.
Okay, so you've got them behind Ole Miss.
Right behind, tied for third.
Okay, so Bama. I've got Bama, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and you've got it the second and third the other way. Let's go to A&M because actually I have A&M up there. I've got A&M beating Sam Houston State, Appalachian State, Miami in College Station. They lose to Arkansas in Arlington. They beat State. They lose to Bama. They beat South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, UMass, and LSU. What a winning streak to end the year, 10-2, 6-2. So actually, I have them second in the West, and Ole Miss is third.
A&M just kind of scares me a little bit for some reason. I don't know why. Sam Houston State, Appalachian State, I have them winning. I think they lose to Miami. I might be a homer in that regard, but I think they lose to Hurricanes. They beat Arkansas. They lose to Mississippi State, lose to Alabama, lose to South Carolina, beat Ole Miss, beat Florida, beat Auburn, beat UMass, and beat LSU. 8-4, tied with Arkansas and Mississippi State in that third spot. I don't really know how the tiebreaker would work there.
No. Well, and actually, let me correct myself. I've got it Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas third, Ole Miss fourth. And then near the bottom, let's do LSU. I've got them 7-5, 3-5. I think they'll beat Florida State in New Orleans, as I mentioned. Oh, we did LSU. I'm sorry. Let me do Auburn is what I mean. Yeah. Mercer, San Jose State, that's a win. I think they're going to lose to Penn State. I think they'll beat Missouri. They'll beat LSU. They'll lose to Georgia. They'll lose to Ole Miss. They'll lose to Arkansas. They'll lose to State. They'll lose to Auburn. Big losing streak there. And say goodbye to their coach. Probably fire him right before Western Kentucky. They'll beat that team. They'll lose to Bama. I've got them 5-7 and 2-6.
5-7. That's close to me as well. I got them beating Mercer, San Jose State. They lose to Penn State early in the year, beat Missouri, then go on a little losing streak to LSU and Georgia. They do beat Ole Miss, though, because that's Ole Miss's kryptonite. They beat Arkansas. They lose to Mississippi State. They lose to A&M. They beat Western Kentucky, but lose to Alabama in the Iron Bowl. 6-6, tied for last with LSU in the West.
So there you go. We've got all the West picks. Now we'll find out in just a minute from the expert. That is Stats Norsworthy. Brett will join us momentarily. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios. This could be it. This could be the final day for you to enjoy the summer clearance sale. $2,000 off swimming pools with specials like a year's worth of chemicals, 30% off in-stock patio furniture, play gyms and trampolines with free installation, $1,000 off. Please get to I-40 and Whidden Road. And today I'm going to call our title sponsor. I got to find out what Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai have in mind for Labor Day. This is the Labor Day special. Usually cars, well, you get a really good shot at a good price, but this is the shortage time. What will they do? I can tell you this. You'll never pay more than sticker price on a brand new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai, and we'll see what kind of things they got cooking up for Labor Day. The best place to go, right down Highway 78, Lamar. First exit in Mississippi is Craft Road. Turn left right there, and once you start talking to that gang, you'll understand why there's so much great customer retention at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Brett Norsworthy is right around the corner. His first appearance this year. You know football's here. Stats is next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Make sure to stop by 10th Inning Sports Bar and Grill for the best home-cooked lunches around Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Meatloaf, baked chicken, catfish, and more, along with yummy veggies. Plus a great brunch on weekends from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. They have plenty of TVs to watch sports, and they have live entertainment on the weekends. Join them on Sundays for Left Turn Sunday NASCAR watch parties with beer and food specials. 10th Inning Sports Bar and Grill, voted the #1 sports bar in DeSoto County. Getwell Road, South Haven.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Look
Looking for a new ride but can't seem to find the one you want? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the Pike. Take the road by storm in a 2023 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive SUV. Now just $245 a month. 36 month lease, $29.99 due at signing. That's $245 a month for a 2023 Kia Seltos LX. And we've got lots to choose from at Gossett Kia on the Pike. But if you don't see what you want, we'll get it ordered for you ASAP. Just pick out the one you want and you won't pay over at Gossett Kia on the Pike. Plus, all Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
$650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Seltos P737 134.5 MSRP 24,610. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/1/22. Dealer stock only.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
The humidity going down, but those temperatures are still going to be in the 90s this week. Not too late to get the summer tune-up from Conway. 384-3511, 16 points, $69. That's the first part. They'll check your Freon. Then they go outside. It's like taking your system to a car wash. They will get all the dirt and the grime and the leaves out of that system, and then they'll put another new twist. They always find new ways to help you out. They're going to put a Teflon coating on the blades to protect it from the hot summer sun, and you'll be in tune. You'll be efficient. Efficiency means two things. One, you pay less on your energy bill. Two, your system's going to last longer. I promise you. Could be 5-6 years longer if you take care of it, and the place to take care of it is the premier Mid-South heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric company. You know it, and we all love it. Conway Services. That is the place to go. Okay, we know now. Football's here because here comes Brett. And we know in Ole Miss there seems to be a real showdown at the top spot on the team. That's quarterback Altmaier, Dart. Who is it, Brett Norsworthy? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. Won't know until Saturday, and it's very reminiscent of just 2 years ago as it came down, and it was a real toss-up. I went to the very last scrimmage. That was a COVID year, and the last scrimmage was around the 18th or 19th of September, as the season didn't begin until Saturday, September 26th. And I left there that day thinking that John Rice Plumlee would be the starting quarterback. Well, he wasn't, and really he never saw any run at quarterback ever again, and I don't think the person that doesn't win out this year will see a lot of run. Lane Kiffin more or less said when he decides on a quarterback, that's going to be the quarterback. It's not going to be somebody looking over their shoulder. And it came down to John Rice Plumlee 2 years ago and Matt Corral. Matt Corral won the job and went on to the exploits that he did. John Rice Plumlee will be starting Thursday night for Central Florida when they open against South Carolina State down in Orlando. I've been all over the place. Gabe has asked me this question, and I bet you I have vacillated, flipped, and flopped. One day I'll say Dart. One day I'll say Altmaier. I am now going to settle in on Dart. And the practices I've been to, Dave, it's a coin toss. They've looked both very good, and this offense will be more of a passing offense this year, regardless of who's quarterback, than either the previous 2 years when it was really more run heavy than the stereotype of Lane Kiffin as a coach. 2 years ago, led the SEC in rushing. Last year, third in the SEC rushing. Going to have a good run game this year, but I think this year is when Lane Kiffin really lets it go, and I think he'll end up being Jackson Dart running out there first Saturday.
I tend to agree just based on you don't bring a kid a transfer in
yeah.
to not play him. So if that is the case, or let me word it this way, because I give Altmaier a lot of credit for making this a battle, because everybody thought Jackson Dart was going to be a no-brainer. Does Luke Altmaier stick around, or will he enter the portal?
That's the question he'll have to answer and he'll decide on. I think he has proven in the past to be very much a team guy, waiting his chance, got it in an emergency situation in the Sugar Bowl, acquitted himself pretty nicely. Also in that game had a big offensive lineman get hurt that even made it tougher. The Baylor defensive line just destroyed the Ole Miss offensive line in that game with or without Corral. And then after Jeremy James got hurt, it was even more decided for Baylor. But Luke Altmaier from Starkville, his dad has been the team orthopedist at Mississippi State for going on years now and played big-time high school football there, 6A football for the Starkville Yellow Jackets. But Dave, you know, and I know, and everybody knows in this world of QB1 of depth charts, the guy that wins, he's really happy. The guy that loses, he may be playing against you next week.
Right. Well, here's what I think. We've always said defensive linemen are the shortest supply in all of collegiate athletics. I don't agree with that anymore. I think because of the transfer portal and because you only play one quarterback, you don't rotate those guys, I think the shortest supply is going to be a backup quarterback.
I agree. I so agree. And Gabe Kuhn has made a great point about who really has a backup quarterback. Everybody talks about, if Seth Hennigan went down, if KJ Jefferson went down, if Hendon Hooker went down.
Yeah.
Of 131 college football teams in FBS, who do you think really has a capable backup? About 5?
Well, guys that you don't know about. For instance, let's go to Seth Hennigan.
Well, Hooker was last year.
Right.
He was backup last year.
Exactly. He was the backup, and Milton was just terrible. And here was Hooker, a guy that couldn't make it at Virginia Tech, and all of a sudden he's thrust in there and he comes through. I'll give you a great example, Grant Cannell. Grant Cannell was going to be the quarterback for the University of Memphis last year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He gets injured. Hennigan gets the job, and Hennigan's not going to relinquish the job. So,
well, that's a couple places. Yeah. And also the national champions a year ago, Dave. Everybody wanted to pick on Desmond Howard this week on his Final Four picks. I can't do it because I know some of my picks in the past.
Sure.
1 year ago, right now, I was picking J.T. Daniels to win the Heisman Trophy at Georgia.
Right.
He doesn't see the field. Stetson Bennett takes him to a national championship, and J.T. Daniels is playing Thursday night for Pittsburgh.
So there are backups.
I'm sorry, for West Virginia.
Yeah, so there are backups to begin the year that you don't know about, and then they get the job. And if they don't get the job, most of the time now they're going to transfer to a place that they can play. That's just going to be the reality of the way this goes.
You're right about the big guys, and Dave, I'm reluctant to throw a number out there because I've heard some wild numbers, and I've heard it in the past from some very optimistic Ole Miss voices about depth in the defensive line, but it is real. It is very real. I mean, Ole Miss can run D linemen, tackles, nosemen, defensive ends. They can run in a 3-4. They can run a lot of fresh defensive linemen at you. I'm reluctant to throw a number out there, but I've had some that have watched a lot more practices than I have say it's double digits. There's 10.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm going back up from that.
10 SEC defensive linemen.
I tell those people, I have to see it to believe it because Bama hardly runs 10 at you.
Right. Well, if that is the case, and I know you're deep at running back, you got the kid from SMU, Bentley. I think you ended up with 2 or 3 backs that are probably as good as the 2 or 3 you had last year, and they were good.
I do too.
So what is a fair, a rational expectation for wins this year with Ole Miss?
I'm going to go with Dave Woloshin and Jay Morgan Harder's picks just some 8, 9, 10 minutes ago on this award-winning show because it's more than I have. So I'm going to go with you guys. I think it's rational. I think it's reasonable. Y'all both had 9. I'm at 8. I think the absolute basement with a lot of injury and a lot of unknown that it's hard to figure out when we're doing these W's and L's. I think the very basement is 7 and 5. It could replicate last year. It could go up to 10-2 regular season, lost the bowl game to Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. I think it could be another 10-win season where you guys 9-3 go to a bowl game, go to something like the Citrus Bowl, win it, maybe go 10-2 again, go to an Orange Bowl for the first time since the 30s when they played Catholic University from Washington, D.C. in an Orange Bowl in the late 30s. But it is good times at Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin has just done a phenomenal job.
No doubt. No doubt. And, to have two quarterbacks like that all the way down at the end. Although I do ask you this, he knows, don't you think? He's going to make everybody guess, but he's got to know.
I think there are three people that really know: Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr., and Charlie Weiss Sr.
He just doesn't want Troy to know, I guess.
And Troy named their quarterback. They have two transfer quarterbacks, highly recruited quarterback that came from Utah and another player that came from West Virginia, and neither of them are going to start. They're going to stay with their starter from the end of last year. But it's going to be fun Saturday for Ole Miss. The schedule, look, everybody recognizes that it is a very soft takeoff for Ole Miss. I mean, it's not the challenge last year on opening night that the Rebels had with Louisville, but Troy, UCA, Georgia Tech, Tulsa, that will set up a big October 1st matchup against Will Levis in Kentucky, and the remarkable job that Mark Stoops has done.
He's really done a pretty good job. I've never talked to you about this. You and I both understand John Calipari, and we know how smart he is, what a great marketer he is. What the heck was he thinking about when he made that statement trying to get money for a new indoor?
Dave, it was the best of Coach Cal, and it was the worst of him. It was the best of him. He's going to fight like a junkyard dog for his program, his players, his youngsters, his staffers. He's about one thing. He's about men's basketball at the University of Kentucky. He's going to fight to the bitter end for that. But in doing that, he had on blinders and failed to recognize the job that Mark Stoops has done. Mark Stoops with two wins. He's going to get one this week against Miami of Ohio, so that's going to tie Coach Bear Bryant is all-time winningest coach at Kentucky. That will tie him with one more win the rest of the year. I think he's going to get that. He will break. Bear Bryant's last win at Kentucky came in November of 1953.
That's amazing. Yeah,
it's how hard that job is.
It's hard. He's made it a good job, actually.
Great facilities.
And I will say it's the first time I've ever seen my man Calipari make a PR gaffe, and that I don't think there's any way around it. Okay. Alabama in the West.
You know how they'll forgive him, though.
Yeah,
you know how
another national title. That's all it takes.
You go to the Final Four and it's all forgiven.
I don't know. I think with them, you got to win the dang thing.
Maybe so.
All right. Alabama in the West, Georgia in the East. Do you see anything different?
I don't. I thought the three easiest votes at SEC Media Days was one in the West with Bama, one in the East with Georgia, and 7 in the East with Vanderbilt. Everything else really topsy-turvy. Maybe 5 and 6, not as volatile in the East as it is in the West. Arkansas could have that 10-2, 11-1 year. They could. They really could. Texas A&M sure could. LSU with those players. You know they have ball players. And even Saturday's opponent for the Tigers, Will Rogers. Why can't Will Rogers in Mississippi State do what Ole Miss did last year and thread that needle and have that 9-3, 10-2 year? He's that good. And Dave Saturday, it's going to drive you crazy. The guy's got eyes in the back of his head.
Oh,
he's one of those. He's one of those. I mean, you saw him last year. Well, you know all about him.
And
he's got great receivers. But here's the guy that the Tigers have to throw a blanket around in that 3rd and 13. And it's Austin Williams. He's kind of the 3rd or 4th guy, but he's that guy. If you need 7, he gets 8. If you need 9, he gets 10. If you need 17, he gets 19.
Yeah. 3rd year for Rodgers in that system, it's scary. It really is. And I just like Mike Leach. I really do. So I'm hoping for good things for them. Not this Saturday, but I'm hoping for them. The rest
Dave,
of the way.
Isn't it something, the likability of the coaches now in the SEC West as compared to just a few years ago? Arkansas, Bobby Petrino, he never won a most congeniality contest. No. Sam Pittman does. Hugh Freeze hit hit the beach with all his problems, and now Lane Kiffin so well liked, Mike Leach so well liked when Dan Mullen frankly wasn't by almost anybody else that wasn't clad in maroon. Even at LSU, to the contrast from Miles and Orgeron to Brian Kelly, they finally have adult supervision in the football program at LSU.
True. Very well said. Last thing, real quick, because nobody loves baseball more than you. I'm not saying this is like Sosa and McGuire, but we got 2 home run stories that are pretty good. Does Albert Pujols get to 700? Does Aaron Judge beat the great Roger Maris's 61 and 61?
I think both will, and it is fun. Now I resist the stories that Aaron Judge would have the real home run record. Barry Lamar Bonds has it.
He's got it.
Now he would have the American League record.
Right.
That's unarguable because he is in the American League. And yes, Albert Pujols will get to 700 because look at these wheelhouse places he will be playing in. Last game in Cincinnati, he's owned that ballpark. Then a 7-game homestand against the Cubs and the Nationals at Busch Stadium, and then 3 in Pittsburgh, and he ends the year with 3 in Pittsburgh. He has owned that stadium. The P and PNC ought to be Pujols.
How did he turn it on in August? He's got 8 in August. He had 7 from April to July.
The answer is I don't know. Here's my speculation. I think the home run derby re-energized him.
Maybe so. That's a great take.
I think he caught something at the All-Star game and came back for after the break really ready.
And it wasn't anything from Fernando Tatis either, by the way. Don't anybody bring that up.
No.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. As always, we appreciate it. I'll be doing this on Tuesdays with you. You're here every Wednesday with me. We appreciate it. And have fun in Oxford on Saturday.
You as well in the Golden Triangle. You know I love it down there. I know. And you know why.
Yeah, Old Waverly. I know.
Thank you, Dave.
For sure. Thank you. This portion of the show brought to you by the Poppy's Pills. Yes, Grind City Brewing and that wonderful, refreshing Pilsner, best enjoyed ice cold, made right here in Memphis by the folks at Grind City. Look, this is a refreshing Pilsner. They have come up with it. They will give it to you, not give it to you, they will sell it to you in 6-packs and 15-packs at any local distributor. Any place that you go to get spirits, like the Spirit Shop in Memphis, they got it. It's terrific. It's what the doctor ordered, that Pilsner, Poppy's Pills from Grind City. And this portion of the show brought to you by Miramichi. If you headed to Miramichi today and you're a senior like me, you'll pay $33 to play golf. That includes all the golf balls that you can hit on the range. That includes a cart. It includes use of their facilities. And then it's 18 holes of unbelievable challenge and unbelievable beauty. 330 acres of gorgeousness, especially the back 9. And then you end the day on their terrace with the vast overlook of 9 and 18 and the whole golf course and a pond and a fountain and sky and clouds. It's gorgeous. It's the best view in all of Shelby County. Miramichi in Woodstock, 12 minutes north of downtown, is the complete golf experience. Please go check it out. You'll thank me later. It's great out at Miramichi. We pause for just a second. When we come back, our friend Jarvo from Action News 5 and the analyst on the Tiger Football Radio Network will talk Tigers in just a minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford and Landers Ford South. We've provided 100 new Fords to the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That's 100 new Ford Explorers and Expeditions. Demo priced to sell now. This is a once-a-year opportunity to upgrade for less and support a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance to pay less during the Landers Sales Drive. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford, driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, and lock in low APR financing. Landers Ford and Landers Ford South. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, everybody. Greg Gaston for FanDuel. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlays, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events that let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
I've got Jeff Allen on the phone over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. Hey, what you got cooking over there, Jeff?
Randy, it's time to get in a new ride from Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. I can put you in a 2023 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive SUV 27 combined MPG for that summer vacation for just $245 a month. 36-month lease, $29.99 due at signing. And if you don't see what you want, no problem. We will order exactly what you want. You choose your own bells and whistles.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Jeff. Service with a smile. And your Kias are always equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
That's a 2023 Kia Seltos LX $245 a month at Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Seltos P 737-134.5, MSRP 24,610. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/1/22. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
With all this college football coming up this week and really starting tomorrow with the Vols, those of you who like to play the game within the game, you know what I'm talking about. You need a sports book with integrity, longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid when you win. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, even things like MMA, golf, horses, esports, all kind of crazy bets. But your favorite sports book has to be one you can rely on, that has experience. BetUS.com, back for the 28th year. That's experience of doing NFL action. It's got the industry's biggest sign-up bonus. That's up to 200% off. BetUS offers the members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including, as we mentioned, the NFL, but there's NBA to come, MLB right now, and a whole lot more. They've also got casino games, including European slots, live dealers waiting for you right now at all the tables. You can sign up at BetUS.com, or you can call 1-800-79-BET-US. If you do that, don't forget to mention there's a promo code. It's Sports 56 Radio. Sports 56 Radio. BetUS, where the game begins. Jarvis Greer, the games begin for Memphis on Saturday. It sort of began on Monday when we saw the revealing of the two deep, and there were some surprises, like left tackle. Were you surprised by McKalen Pounders becoming a redshirt freshman starter at that particular spot?
Yeah, I really thought that the incumbent would win that position, but, this kid, he's part of what Ryan Silverfield, the head coach, called, they said that we had Memphis had, 3 straight recruiting classes, best in the history of the program. Well, McKellen Pounders is part of one of those classes, and he is now ready to play, and he's a big one. We were out of practice today. They give us, 15, 20 minutes to shoot first 3 periods. And we went over to look at the offensive line. He's a big kid, and he looks like an earth mover. Also, he's got good feet, and I think that's what won him the job. He's got good feet. They're still working on his hands and everything, because it's hand-to-hand combat up there up front. But it looks like he can move well, keeps his center of gravity low to stay in front of the pass rushers. Of course, Mississippi State has some good people in that department, so he's going to get a baptism of fire come up here Saturday night down in Starkville.
That will be a lot of fun. Speaking about guys who are huge, how about the nose tackle Cameron Jackson?
Cameron Jackson?
Yeah.
Big dude, man.
340 pounds. Now, seriously, last year I was trying to remember the team. And, it might have been Texas San Antonio. It was crazy. There was a guy who weighed like 380. And I remember asking Mac, the former Tiger defensive coordinator now.
McIntyre.
Yeah, now at FIU. I said, do you think we'll see the day where there is a 400-pound nose tackle? Because a nose tackle really does not have to be that a speedy guy, doesn't have to have a lot of movement. He's a guy there to disrupt and to hold his ground. And 400 pounds. And he said, oh, yeah, I think that there will be a day. We'll see that in the next 10 years. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And, Memphis has had some kind of tiny nose tackles over the last few years. And it's a big difference to see somebody that big anchoring your line in the middle, defensive line, somebody that the linebackers can really scrape off of, because Cameron Jackson's taking up space, and that's what you want your nose tackle to do. And he's big, but he can also move, Dave. They had some drills they were running out there at practice that we were able to see, and he can cover some ground sideline to sideline. And hopefully at that size he's got the shape to be able to stay out there for a good while. But man, you talk about running up the ball up the middle. That's going to be a tough thing to do with him in there, because he's a big dude, and he's got some skill. He's got good feet. He came in highly. He had originally committed to LSU before deciding to come to Memphis, and this is a payoff year for him, and it will be a big payoff year for the Tiger recruiting staff if he pans out as what he's looked like so far.
Well, the two guys that you've just mentioned, Pounders and Jackson, both were Power 5 guys. I mean, Pounders was from Mississippi and had offers, I think, from both Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So, it's a coup that Memphis is bringing these guys up from these great recruiting classes, building it the right way, and I think it will pay off in the long run. All right, you did this really cool thing for the website where you're on a specialized golf cart.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing like David. What was it? David Letterman? Didn't he start doing his? Or Jerry Seinfeld? He was doing these things in a car. Now you're doing it in a cart. What did you learn from Tim Cramsey and Matt Barnes in your ride around the campus?
Well, it was around the football fields out there and inside the new indoor practice facility that is beautiful out at the University of Memphis. It was in its 3rd year now, and it's really something that it's helping not only attract players to the U of M, it's also attracting coaches. They come and check the facilities out now, and that's one thing both Tim Cramsey, who's the offensive coordinator, and Matt Barnes, who's the defensive coordinator, said that they really, really liked and didn't know that Memphis had something this good until they got here to, see it with their own eyes. And, of course, Matt Barnes coming in from Ohio State, they live in the lap of luxury up there in Columbus. And he said this was everything as good as what they had. And so that was good to hear from a guy who's seen everything. And of course, Tim Cramsey has the offensive coordinator says his main thing is not to make the guys adapt to him. He adapts to the talent that he has. And that's how you become ultimately successful. Everybody has an idea in mind what they want for their scheme, but he says, okay, I've got a scheme in mind, but let's see if the guys can't adapt to it, then we'll do something else. He's not afraid to change up and tweak and do what they can do.
And frankly, I mean, he's been amazing. You realize this is his 7th school to be an OC? That's hard to believe. 7 different schools have been attracted by his offensive mind. In their top position at that spot. Wow, I think that's amazing.
And he's been very successful at each stop.
Yeah,
so that's why he keeps continuing to move up the totem pole. And hopefully Memphis will be able to keep this one around for a while. And hopefully he'll be. But whatever happens in the future, if he is as good as his track record, then the Tigers' offense is in good hands. And there are some weapons on this offense. That's another thing that attracted him to Memphis. The fact that, you got a freshman All-American who, in Seth Henderson at your quarterback spot.
That absolutely always helps. Javo, can't wait to see you in Starkville on Saturday.
A little bit the other direction.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Going to be fun down there.
All right, buddy.
All right, Dave.
Talk to you next week. We'll have something we know all about now about where this Tiger team will stand after Saturday's game. Thank you. That'll do it for us. We're out of time. Johnny Radio comes your way in just a minute. Have a great day, everybody.
I often say they've set the bar